Minus 60 seconds.
Best recorders, high speed. Check all batteries.
Minus 50. Armed.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
Your go
4,
for APU shutdown on time.
2, 1, liftoff.
Go at throttle up.
Just go at throttle up.
Still on its way to orbit after a successful ascent up through main engine cutoff.
Houston, 20 seconds to LOS TDRIS.
Content, nice to be in orbit.
This is Escape Pod, part of the Outbreak Podcasting Network. Visit our website at outbreakpodcast.com. And now here's your hosts, Tony Brown and David Anthony.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Escape Pod. I'm David.
I'm Tony.
Hey, we have with us today some recurring friends. I love these guys.
Recurring friends.
That's right. Eric Huskisson and PJ Starks.
Hello.
Welcome, gentlemen.
Howdy, guys. How are you all?
You're having fun with this new counter?
I'm digging this.
He is. He's got some kind of texture thing going on.
I don't know. I don't know if it'll offend you or what, but this reminds me back in the day when I was like an early teen. When there was like D&D tables like this.
I'm already offended.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? I mean, one of the friends had it. It was padded, and they had the middle of the table was glass with a grid on it, and there was a light built underneath it.
Holy shit!
Wow.
So they could move the pieces around. It was pretty freaking nice.
So
that's why I'm like,
he's saying that I need to upgrade because this isn't good.
No.
So what he's saying
This
is that guy
reminds
was a
me of that
super
table.
virgin.
I said one of them was like that.
I've got 2 kids. I slipped
Good
twice.
Lord. This is why I don't like coming to these.
Whatever. And you guys are from Blood Moon Pictures.
Yes.
That's it.
Blood Moon Pictures.
That's right.
Exactly. Okay, so
We got
guys,
the names backwards, though, I hear.
Yes.
No, you can put his first for once.
oh, that's sweet.
David does that to me every once in a while, too. It makes me feel special.
Hey, even the
He
new
earns it
intro.
on
Even the
occasion.
new intro starts off with Tony Brown, doesn't
But you
it?
didn't do it. The ladies did it.
I wrote it.
I was gonna say for a second, I was going to say, so it was an accident.
No,
It was
I
a
wrote
happy
the,
accident.
I wrote the script.
PJ never makes me feel special. He just tells me I'm special.
Aw.
You know. No, not in the good way.
No, just
You're special, Eric.
I got him a helmet for Christmas.
It's derogatory. Trust me.
well, guys, we are really glad to have you here. We have a whole lot to talk about. As soon as Eric decided to destroy the new table, God, just kidding. We'll just pull Eric's name.
Want to
off
know
the
what
thing
that
altogether.
mic felt like hit me in the head.
There you go. So let's talk about some of the things that you guys have been up to, some of the events and things that are going to be coming up. And one of the things I want to start off with, because this is an easy softball to you, which is the Volumes of Blood Horror Stories release date on Blu-ray, DVD.
And VOD.
On VOD.
Yes.
August 1st.
August 1st.
VOD.
Yes.
That always
yes.
sounds like some kind of sexual disease.
Yeah.
VOD. It's, like, it's on
VOD.
VOD. And I'm like, I don't know if I want VOD.
It's got VOD.
Well, I'm just going to shut up. So anyway, this is too many things going to the head. And I'm like,
Don't rub cream on your movie
really
when
no
you
way I
get
can
it.
back out of this if I started it. So anyway, so that's fantastic, right? That's
Awesome. It's awesome. It's great to have a date. We knew it was coming up, but it was really cool to find out, hey, here we go.
Yeah, exactly. And is it going to be available just on the website to start, or is it going to be like the other one, available in other locations? And
Well, we don't have any of that information
Okay,
just
it's
yet. We're
coming,
still waiting
right?
on a few things like box art and a few other details and whatnot. But right now we're not entirely sure. We just know that it's going to be DVD, video on demand,
No
and
VOD.
Blu-ray.
fantastic.
So but other than that, we don't really know if it's going to be start out in stores, on websites. We don't have
Now, the
any of
VOD, is it going to be like it was the last time, Amazon, or directly from the site, or is it
that.
possible?
We don't have any of that information yet either.
This is fantastic.
So
we're just going to scrap this interview. I'm
It's the
just
next.
kidding.
Within the next week or two is when we're supposed to know all that information.
Fantastic. I'll say
I
back.
want to think we're assuming all of that, but we're not going to say anything because as soon as we assume, you know what's going to happen. It's all gonna be different.
Yeah, it's all
Then
gonna be
you'll be forced to bring us back in the studio.
Well, that's okay.
And do
Because we
another
love you
Sorry,
guys.
it's me. I like
We love you guys. You want to? You know, I have some extra material left over. I'll send it home with you.
Maybe we
Eric wants you to bring us back just so he can see his name first for once.
Or twice. It'll
For
be.
twice.
Exactly.
Thank God for
Thanks,
alphabetical. That's all I could say.
Yeah, I totally wasn't like being a phone dick, but I just wanted to pull that up off the Volumes of Blood page.
Yeah.
I know people can't see it, but I was just wondering, like, there's like all kinds of thanks to everybody that supports them and everything.
Uh-huh.
But there's something missing, and it's kind of fucking fucked up.
There's something missing on there.
Yeah.
No, there wouldn't be anything missing as far as
Is that Eric? Eric put that together.
A certain podcast that loves to have them on.
Well, I mean, we make several of those throughout the year, so there's so many.
That's pretty funny.
People supporting us that sometimes things fall through the cracks. We're not perfect.
I think I remember asking him, "Is everything on there?" He goes, "Yeah, that's everything."
Yeah. Everybody that matters is on there.
100% a lie.
What? Yeah. Well, all I gotta say is
because he didn't even know I was doing that.
If he was referring to you saying is everybody on there, then he should look at the list and know that there's somebody missing.
Snap. You know what? Now that I think about it, he did ask me. I sent it to Eric and said, "Is everybody on this picture?" And he said, "Yes, absolutely."
Fantastic.
And then he went a little step further and said, "If anybody gets left off, well, screw them."
Yeah.
Pretty much. And I think the conversation probably went, is there anybody important?
That's what I'm saying. Anybody that even matters.
Maybe that's what he said. He said all the important people are on this.
Exactly. We're just fucking with you, dudes. I didn't even know that. That's hilarious. That's too funny.
I didn't even catch it till last
Hey, you know
night.
what? We know you love us because you're here, putting up with us, picking on you.
Well, I apologize for that. So you'll be on the next one,
We'll be
all the more reasons
or the one after that.
And
And
that was
between now and then.
very good tool there. That's going to work in your behalf. Trust me.
Now we got to kill him.
You're gonna get cussed extremely behind your back, but this will be out there. Trust me.
Nah, fantastic. I like that.
I'll make him get a tattoo that says Escape Pod on it, and we'll little back tattoo.
How about a T-shirt? That sounds a little less painful.
There you go.
We can do that too. Coffee mugs as well. All right.
you go.
So anyway, that's cool though that it's coming out because I'm looking forward to seeing it because actually Tony's in the little CD's in the theater. He's in the theater.
Don't blink and don't look left.
Yeah, and he didn't die in a theater, so he's alive.
That's true.
There
That
you
is
go.
true.
And my daughter's in there too.
Yeah.
So she could always come back for the next one.
Yeah.
But even
just messing with
if
you.
you die in one of the first two films, there's always the possibility you could be back for the next installment.
Oh.
Yeah, because reincarnation happens. It's real.
Well, it's
There's timeline, yeah.
the timeline jumps around.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's future and past, and we're kind of like the X-Men franchise.
So you have this. You have the I guess you would say the fundamental layout in your head now. Mm-hmm. And you had a lot of people, which I thought was cool. You kind of reached out to your Facebook page, and you guys were asking, anybody have ideas or scripts or submissions that they wanted in Volumes of Blood 3? So that's fantastic. And you took in, I guess, some of them and kind of kicking some things around, or
Well, we haven't sat down. It goes until the end of June.
oh, so it's still going on.
So so there's still an opportunity if anybody has not sent us a pitch.
And where they need to send a pitch to,
Well, they need to send it to our email account,
which is
bloodmoonpics@gmail.com, and then we'll basically just request information that has everything that we're looking for, and a little snippet in there, and that'll tell you what we're looking for.
That sounds cool because that way, because I know you're basically looking for completed scripts if possible.
Yeah, or basic
rough
ideas,
drafts.
or basic ideas. Yeah,
We're looking more for pitches than full scripts, and the reason we've said that is because there is the chance that we won't use your pitch. So if you take the time to write an entire script,
Right.
and that's not to say that it'll never get done, but we just didn't want anybody to sit and take all the amount of time it does take to write an entire script just for us to go, well, that's not really going to work, or we didn't choose it, or whatever. But we have had we ended up having about 80 responses
That's
so
fantastic.
far, 80 plus, I'd say, and which is far more than what we expected.
That's
So
fantastic.
some people did send in full scripts. Some people sent in 2 or 3 scripts.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which you can send in more than one, but we're going to wait until after the deadline to really sit down and start narrowing down all the stories, because the way it stands now, we do have story ideas for what the sequences will be, but we're not going to sit here and say that what we've come up with is the best that there is. So if somebody else has sent something in, we may end up choosing more than one.
Good deal. Yeah.
Because we're basically down to 5 stories for this one. Am I correct, PJ? And one of them's going to be the wraparound. We already have a story that's not completely written that we're going to do. So that leaves 3 stories. So if we go through this whole process and we find 3 really good stories in there, we could use 3 of those ideas.
Right.
I mean,
That's
so,
fantastic.
you know, ultimately one's going to be in there, you know, but...
Unless they all suck.
Yeah, unless they all suck. Yes, yeah.
And then we'll be forced to come up with something.
Yeah.
But I don't see that happening.
So when people are submitting, you don't want them submitting something that's going to be 2 hours long. You want it to kind of condense
Yeah,
it
that's
down
the
to
criteria
10,
that we have
15
set.
minutes.
That
Yeah,
we
we
sent.
have a series of guidelines. So if anybody is interested in knowing what those are, they can email us, and then we'll send them those guidelines and regulations for what. Because we did have some people that immediately just sent us a script.
That's something they already had in the camera.
Something that they had already done, and we had to respond and say, well, here are the guidelines. Make sure that what you're sending us does fit.
Yeah.
Before we go through it, just to say, okay, none of this fits because it takes place on an airplane and it's
Right.
you know.
Then there was timeline issues with the length of the script, and you know, one script has 50 characters in it. You know, and
Jeez.
we got it. Well, I'm exaggerating.
Yeah,
but we got it limited to a few.
Right.
You know, and you know, so I mean, without seeing the criteria, everybody's just throwing whatever they got to us, and it some of you know, it just didn't fit at all.
Right, of course. And now I've actually had a couple of people ask me since they heard that you were starting the. Which I'm nobody, so that's why I'm asking you. These are questions I'm asking you in the podcast. Is at the time when you start getting the script narrowed down, and you get it to the point where you're like, okay, cool. So now we need to find actors to fill it in. Will you have like an open call again, like you have in the past?
Yeah, we're starting full-blown pre-production in October.
Yeah.
By then, the entire script will be completely finished and finalized. Then we'll work on setting up open casting calls, and you know, we'll take video auditions and things like we did the last time.
Yeah, we'll know how many people we need,
And
age-wise, whatever.
Exactly.
You know, then once the script's completely done, October hits, then we can do the locations and the auditions and all the fun stuff's
Then
happening.
we start finding sponsorships.
Sponsorships happen.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's going to happen before then. So.
Well, as soon as you unleash me, I'm going to help out as best I can. So yeah, exactly. Well, we definitely want to help promote this because we love you guys, and we think that what you do is great, and we like that not only that the quality is fantastic, but that it's here at home. It's here at home and in this area, and even though you've had people from Bowling Green and all over come in, and even some actors from all over the country that have actually come in and participated because they wanted to be a part of your last projects. I just have a feeling that the bar is going to be even higher for the next one as far as the people that want to be a part of it. So
we hope so.
Yeah.
Well, we hope so too.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be, like on the last one, reaching out to artists all over, and probably going to be bringing in some people that are even further away.
I think our partnership kind of with Petrie Entertainment, who's distributing our Horror Stories film, is coming on and helping us kind of produce, and they're looking at some people for us that I think are, if we can work it out, be pretty cool. Bring some people from afar.
That'd be nice.
Plus, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
Plus, Andy Palmer, Warner Davis, and Andy Palmer are the ones that run Petrie Entertainment, and their new label Dark Cuts is what they're doing, like individual films like ours on, and keeping Petrie to them on their own label of stuff. Andy's going to come in and direct one of our sequences, and so that's going to be cool. So they're going to be really involved with this one.
So where are those guys from?
They're in both L.A., right?
Yeah, they're both out of Los Angeles.
That's good. Yeah. So since they'll be knowing everybody on that side of the world, that's going to probably help you guys find some possible actors.
Well, yeah, and then
that's kind of that's really kind of their purpose, is to help us branch out, on many different levels. I think their incorporation is really what's going to help take the next movie to the next level. Because they are going to have resources and connections and things that we don't have.
Right.
Now, we are still planning on bringing in the same
production crew,
and we want to, we still want to keep. We're still going to shoot everything in Owensboro. We want to keep this thing as local as possible. We're still going to do all practical effects and things of that nature. But we want to bring in some elements that will help really capture the attention of a wider audience this go around, and that's what they're going to help us do.
Yeah, the Volumes of Blood, universe that PJ created is not going to change. But to go to that next level, bringing in people like Andy and Warner, that's just, when he found them, it just worked out great. And our relationship with them, they're just great. I mean, it was like meeting us in a sense. It was kind of weird. And they're out in LA, and I mean, they've done some pretty big productions out there. They just did the Funhouse Massacre, and they're getting ready to do, what is that, something Creek Manor? Cold Creek Manor? Cold Creek Camp? Or
Coldbrook?
Coldbrook, that's what it is. Yes, that they're in pre-production for that, I think. So
that's very cool. That's very cool.
They're cool guys, and plus, like PJ said, we're bringing our production team in from Paducah.
Yeah, those guys
from last year. They are just phenomenal. And now that we've worked with them once, when we already got along with them, same personalities, we all know what each other's capable of. I think the next time around, it's going to be even better. I mean, they're a great group to people to work with.
Right.
Unless they want to get paid, and then
then they're out.
What are you thinking?
Unless we hit that 500,000 mark we're looking for mid-September, then that might be different. Probably could give them,
We'll see what kind of budget we can pull together for you guys.
Oh wait, was that out loud? Did I say that?
Mm-hmm. Well, then there's our backup budget, which is 2.5. But
was that rupees or million?
That should rupees? Just be euros.
Euros.
So you guys going to be looking for local music too?
Yes.
Yeah. We're going to be doing that again. What we tried to do on the second one was, we had bands that, we really tried to go for something that was made specifically for the film.
Right.
But that became increasingly more difficult to find when you're dealing with bands and things, and of course they're going in and they're doing studio time and that costs money.
Yeah, right.
So I think we haven't really talked about this yet, but I think that one of the better ways of going about it this time around is to talk to bands who maybe have something that they've already done that's studio quality, and then seeing what song that they have may fit the movie that we are doing.
We could do a music submission just like we did story submission.
Ooh,
and have people send in some songs that they think might fit for our horror genre.
Just make sure that when you get if they do agree to it and they sign you the rights to do it, the movie, that you also include the rights to DVD, Blu-ray, all that kind of good stuff.
And video on demand.
Video on demand. Yeah. Because God knows I really enjoyed the TV show WKRP in Cincinnati, but considering they only had the first airing rights and did not have the airing rights for anything other format of VHS and DVD, all those great episodes have junk music in them, and it just isn't quite the same. Yeah.
Because if you guys get enough submissions, you could do old school soundtrack again, because nobody even makes soundtracks anymore.
Yeah.
And that was one of the coolest things about horror movies, is they always pulled in great music. Even if it didn't make it in the movie itself.
Right.
When you bought the soundtrack, there was those 4 or 5 extra tracks that were just in there.
Can you tell who the musician is who loves rock music in the group? Yes. And he's like,
all the music we got did make it into the film one way or another.
Right.
So we didn't have any extra tracks left over. But I mean, if we have an open submission like we've done with writing, then
that might work out pretty cool.
2-disc soundtrack.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
You could start Brony and the Goats, and
there you go,
and come out. I mean, hey, stranger things could happen.
I'm submitting it.
yeah, there you go. Little volumes of blood, like they have on Guardians of the Galaxy, have it in cassette and 8-track, LP.
Well, I mean, we could have Brony and the Goats make a cameo appearance in the movie.
See,
and play like a live show for some scene.
You never know.
Believe me, I'll find a way to write it in there.
But if you include
you
animals,
have to wear the Brony shirt. If that happens, you will have to.
I will dress up full Brony.
We'll have to have Barbie make some kind of like off-brand look.
Yeah, that's true.
Brony shirt, because I doubt we'll get the rights.
Like a Plonies shirt.
Yeah. That sounds worse than VOD.
Maybe we'll do some of your goats pictures like up on it.
Eric's been wanting to do some goats for a while.
I feel some photoshopping coming on.
Actually, that would be sheep. Nah.
We'll have sheep soon too, so you know,
could just have
those
barbecue.
lonely nights you can come out to the farm.
We could just
and-
have Barbie do some goats like up on their backs, like Tony Spearman.
I read somewhere that sheep's feels just like the real thing, and that's why it's so popular in the old country.
When I wrote that
Like
story,
Eastern Kentucky.
So,
I didn't mean for that story to get out, but yes.
are you talking about Barnyard Follies?
Yeah.
That's a bad podcast.
That is that needs to be in one of our movies. That is we hadn't been together
Hey, you
doing
know
stuff
what?
for.
You can have Barnyard Follies in part 3 if I can use that line I've been wanting to use.
We'll
in part
see.
3.
We'll see.
Oh.
We'll see. Hey, if it fits, if it's a funny moment that fits, I would go for it.
That's
I told
what she
you that.
said.
I'll find a
Yeah.
I'll find a slot for it
Yeah.
to fit.
No, we hadn't been working together a year, and I don't know how it got started. When I was like, well, that's how I got started in this in the first place was when I did porno for the first time when I was in Barnyard Follies 3. And he's like, what? and then we both just started laughing, and it's been an ongoing joke ever since. And, a couple people are like, okay, and
And
like.
then I randomly make that joke now, and people don't understand.
Yeah, because it's
like,
between us, and and they're like, they look at us
And
like,
everybody
are
listening
they-
to this podcast.
Then they get their phones out, and they immediately start Googling Eric Huskisson Barnyard Follies.
Yeah, yeah. I only produced the first two. I wanted to really be in the third one.
Oh, he was
You know,
really
I can make some posters and just throw them up on the internet. That'll be awesome.
There we go. Hey, you could do the goats.
There you go.
Get pictures of Tony's goats.
Big collaboration.
That'll be some bad acting in that.
Yes, it
Yeah,
would.
that would be some good post-credit scenes. A reason for everybody to hang around after the credits.
Me chasing the goats through your yard.
I just got a really bad visual.
All right.
Not gonna lie.
Wow.
All right, back to the
go
podcast.
on,
Back to the
I'm
podcast.
thinking we need to move forward. Hey, you know what else we need to talk about is this awesome board game that you guys have got coming out. It is a card game, right?
Yes, card game. Yes.
I almost messed up.
Yeah.
I get the
No,
look.
it's
It's
all right,
like
you're good.
You said board game. Well, yeah, card game. Okay, so what's the card game called, and what's it about?
It's called Volumes of Blood Body Count.
Body count. I like
Body
that.
count.
And essentially, the concept is all the players are directors, and you're using elements, characters, kills, weapons, locations from the actual film universe, and you are creating scenes. And you have to finish out your scene and then garner a body count. Whoever has the largest body count is the winner. But there's all these extra cards that are thrown into the play to where you are basically screwing over the other players, and that's where all the fun really comes into the game.
Yeah, yeah.
Because setting up a scene doesn't take as long as what you might think.
Right.
Getting your scene wrapped is what takes so long because everybody's getting all these extra cards to screw each other over.
Mess
and
the
that's-
scene
that's-
up and stuff, yeah.
Yeah,
And
because
that's where all
basically
the
when
fun
I
is.
first played it and then started understanding it, at the end of it, I was like, yeah, this is basically screw your neighbor is what this is. Because, you ended up trying to screw everybody up so you can win more than you're trying to do your scene,
I know, I haven't seen your neighbor. So anyway,
Yeah, well.
Cindy Maples, we've had multiple
how did it go from that to
cast
that?
members
Well, here's.
who have played the game.
Yeah, and
we've done some trial runs and
Yeah.
things. But Cindy Maples messaged me when it was done. She was one of the actresses from the second movie. She said that it was fun, but she could see some friendships ending because of how mean spirited the game is.
Yeah.
Which to me is probably the best endorsement that you could possibly get.
You're like, thank God, I love this. Yeah, and it is cool, and it's the final stages of testing, and it's just about. I think it's pretty soon. It's going to be on Kickstarter. Is that right?
August 11th, I believe.
Yeah, August 11th.
Yeah,
Okay,
about
cool.
a couple weeks after our August 1st release date. So.
All right, cool. So just check out our website, outbreakpodcast.com. We'll have links to that when it hits. We'll post there as well, and then of course you can also go to now. What is do you have? I know you have the website for Volumes of Blood, but is there a Blood Moon Pictures website?
Not currently.
Not
Yeah,
currently.
that
we're
is in the
process.
works or in the thought process of where we're going to move forward with that. Well, we did have one, but we're kind of letting everything take its course first, and I think
totally understand.
it's what's being looked into.
Cool. So
Before we move on from the game, though, I want to give a shout out.
Of course.
Josh Lambert and his company Mythmaker Games.
Yeah.
They're the ones who had
Awesome
approached
guys.
us. They approached
Barry
us
and Chris.
at a convention and had this idea, and they had kind of the concept for a slasher type game already. and they found out about the Volumes of Blood movies, and we got to talking to them, and they're the ones who really kind of took this on, and we've been more advisors than anything.
Yeah.
So they're the ones who put all the really hard work into it, designed the game, and did all the artwork for it and everything. So they're the ones who are actually doing the Kickstarter that's going to be
It's fantastic.
kicking off.
Well, that's super cool.
August 11th.
That wasn't even you guys' thought process,
No.
right? To even go
They
after
approached
something
us.
like this.
Yeah.
And that's what a cool property that you created, with the Volumes of Blood, is that it's, if it's, now a game and could be other elements, maybe someday it becomes a video game, and you know what I'm saying, or other things, other avenues could spawn out from this. So that's just really cool. And they had it at OMG Con 2017 at the Ellsworth Convention Center, which we were at yesterday.
Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't get to go to that.
We had a blast. It was awesome. It was a lot of fun. Poor Tony got hit on a lot, but other than that, it was really good. Yeah, poor Brony, Tony.
Yeah,
Sorry.
It was.
Did it give you a tickle in your throat?
No.
No, just asking.
Only David can do that.
Well,
with his mega voice.
Go big.
Alrighty then. And on that note, drink a beer. So yeah, drink a beer and go to sleep. I'm just kidding. So what's? Oh, don't give me the fuss. I duck headed.
There for a second, it's like, wow, you could just command him and he just does stuff. I mean, what's going on? I thought he went to sleep there for a second.
Kind of like mine and Eric's.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Alrighty then. I don't know who's
Mean ass.
I'm just playing. So anyway, all right. So there's been other projects that you've been working on, and I know PJ's been working on a few things. That's executive producing. Sorry. So what can you tell us about that, and what's going on?
I mean, that's the Volumes of Blood movies really kind of opened that door up, and I've had filmmakers reach out to me and things of that nature. So I've been doing a lot of producing in various different capacities for a myriad of different projects. Close Calls, I think, was one of the first ones that came up. It was it's a telephonic horror is what it's being called, but it's Richard Stringham, and he's. But yeah, so I've Demosamine is another one, and 103116, which is now it's just 1031, is a horror anthology. Rocky Gray is doing that one, and then
Rocky Gray did the
score for he's the former drummer of Evanescence, and
right.
he had worked on Volumes of Blood horror stories, and that's how I came onto his project 1031, and basically I've just been helping everything from like promotions and advertising to like creative advisor and stuff like that. So
what a producer actually kind of do a little bit of everything.
Pull it a little closer to you, PG.
There's I mean, it depends on what kind of producer you are. Like a line producer deals directly with like finding money,
right.
But then an actual producer can do the same thing, can deal directly with finding like budgetary funding and stuff like that. Executive producer kind of runs the gamut, everything from promotions to just overseeing the project and helping in various different, like secure locations.
And welcome back to the podcast. In case you're wondering what happened, well, it's a new studio because we built it up from the ground up, and technical issues will happen. But continue, PJ. What were we talking about? I'm just kidding.
Well, the first time I ever got laid.
What? How old your first kid?
No.
I think your last
almost 13 years
you were
ago.
talking about Rocky Gray and 1031.
Oh yeah, so Rocky Gray's project, he had worked on Volumes of Blood horror stories. That's how I got involved with his project. So Cryptids is Justin Siemens, just an M Seaman. Get it out of your system. And and then I recently came on to another project called Angel, it's being done by Tori Jones, who did the Wicked one.
Cool.
So I'm helping him out with that. And then there's a possible other one that's going to be coming up down the pike. It's a monster movie. So
wow.
I got the chance to watch it this past weekend, or last week I got a chance to watch it, and it's a pretty cool movie. So the directors. I've been talking to him. He's talking to his people to see if they want my help or not. So they kind of their production has kind of come to a standstill. So they need some help pushing forward, and that's why they want me to come onto the project. So we're gonna see what happens with that. And
cool deal.
So that's yeah. So I've just been kind of
busier than ever. Using, it sounds like
I mean but it's one of those things where it's over the last 10 years, I've garnered a whole lot of contacts and things within the media, and that tends to be one of the really difficult things to do is when you're doing a project is to get the word out about it. And I remember having to start from scratch, and I didn't know what I was doing or who I was supposed to contact or get in touch with. So I kind of wish that I had somebody doing basically what I've been doing for some of these productions, which is help them find exposure and find an audience. And so I've garnered all those contacts over the last decade or so, and now I'm just kind of reaching out and getting contacted and helping these other projects.
That's cool.
Giving back.
Right. Now,
I can.
Are you, I guess you just credit for that mostly?
Yeah. I'm not opposed to money, but the way I look at it is I ask a lot of favors and I ask for help a lot of the times in the productions. We have done that with our first production on Blood Moon Pictures. We had some help and things. So I mean, if I can do something and it doesn't cost that person a dime, I'm not opposed to that. I'm okay with it.
There you go. And then plus that's like building relationships to help you in your
yeah, because you don't, and that's like with Butcher the Bakers, for instance. Tyler Am, him and his crew are in Ottawa, Illinois. And it was kind of the same situation with Chris Bauer and his group out of Paducah. It's like, you run into these individuals that really mirror the things that you're doing, and it's kind of like what he said, which was like Andy and Warner are kind of like the LA version of what we're doing, and then Paducah is the LA version is the Paducah version of what we're doing. That's what Tyler and his group are. They're very much like our group, and so I got a chance to see some of their films. I mean, he's his type of comedy and the way he shoots his movies and the characters and it's just the writing especially. I mean, it very much reminds me a lot of like Kevin Smith, like what he's doing. Wow. And I'm a huge Kevin Smith fan. His work has a lot of influence on my writing and things. So after I ended up talking to Tyler and a couple, like Ryan, his main actor and things, it was just, we clicked automatically. And I absolutely loved what these guys were doing. So it was an easy fit for me to come onto their project and help them out. And I actually almost told something that I probably shouldn't have told, but I know something that's going on with their project that's really, really exciting that they didn't really have much of an opportunity before I became involved. So it's like, when these things start to happen for these projects, it's satisfying because it means that I'm not just leeching onto other people's projects and they're slapping my name on it. It's I am having some kind of an effect, and that's nice.
That is cool. Well, that's cool, man. You're doing other things and while you're getting things put together. But you guys are also now not pretty much I shouldn't say, but you got this deadline coming up with some of these submissions of scripts. But you have, Eric was telling me you think you have pretty much the wraparound for the new movie at least outlined of some sort.
Yeah. Ironically, I was telling you guys before we started recording today that I had actually sat down and I mapped out. I had my initial concept that I came up with. I sent it to Eric and he read it and gave his thumbs up on, and then we started coming up with some other ideas and things, and then I had sat down one day and I kind of fleshed out the rest of it and started adding in some of these other nuances and things, and I've thrown some other ideas at Eric as far as like things we could add into the wraparound. But the wraparound is the shell of the anthology, so it's kind of the most important piece, and then once you get that figured out, it's a lot easier putting in all the rest of the like the other sequences and things.
Right.
So that's so I went to go print out the actual fleshed out
Damn.
Wraparound, the whole thing had been deleted.
Oh no!
So
Do I have it still?
no, you've only because I did look up in my email what I had sent you, and it's just the initial idea. So
Well, at
all
least
the
you
other
got that to
extra little,
start
but
with.
well, everything is still up here, thankfully.
How did I get to see it though? Then you said I give you a thumbs up on it.
Well, that on the initial.
Oh.
On the initial
Nice.
on the initial concept and
yeah.
how the whole thing
Yeah.
would kind of play out.
Yeah.
But I'm still gonna sit down today and start putting pen to paper, as it were, because we really need to start getting that knocked out.
Yeah, I'm excited that you guys are going to be doing another one soon. I think it's great. Me and Tony are both excited.
Is this going to be the end? Are you going to continue? Or do we just have to wait and find out?
Are you trying to say, do we need to throw? Are we gonna? Is it trilogy?
Well, I don't.
Quadrilogy?
I don't think. I mean, yes, and no.
Yeah. Exactly.
And
That's the best way to put it.
yeah, because when we made the first one, there was never any. We never expected to make a second one. We never expected to have a game. There's actually a few other things that's going on right now that we won't really talk about because we don't have any of the details
Right,
fully
that's
nailed
fine.
down. But once again, they're things that we never anticipated to happen. And so, for all intents and purposes, yes, the third one is going to be the last one in this bulk group of storylines. But like Eric said earlier, it's like this is an entire universe of characters, storylines. It all takes place in a real location with like a real current timeline happening.
Yeah.
So we do have some spin-offs planned. One script has already been entirely written, and it deals with the Harvester character as the main antagonist.
Very cool.
I came up with a concept for a feature-length version that involves the Face as the main killer.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I told Eric and Cassandra the idea, and they both really liked it. Because while it is a slasher film, it's not your atypical slasher film
Right.
with your normal cannon fodder. And so in this current storyline arc, yes, but that's not to say that we won't ever go, well, hey, now we're going to make Volumes of Blood 4, but it's kind of like where you have Saw Legacy or maybe some of these other
Right.
franchises
Yeah, that's
where
cool.
they start up their a whole new
Right.
line of stories.
Kind of have a foothold or a anchor in the original trilogy, maybe,
Right.
and then can go off and do whatever.
Right, and even now, like what we're doing with these current films, they're Volumes of Blood and Volumes of Blood horror stories. They all take place in the same world, but they're tied to each other. But you can still watch them separately,
Right.
never having seen one or the other. And to a degree, that's still what we're doing with the third one. So,
very cool.
and you kind of have to do that because what we're doing is super micro budget, and the chances, and if you do it a little bit bigger and a little bit better each time, and it gets picked up and seen on a wider scale, like if the third one really takes off, I mean, what are the chances that the wider audience has also seen horror stories and the first VOB? The chances are really, really small. So,
Right. So
you
they're
almost
using
have
for
to do that.
Yeah. So it'll possibly be like a wrap around this movie itself.
Right.
But do you? And here's a little note I'll throw at you. So is there going to be a small kind of wrap around the whole trilogy?
Well,
Is there something that would weave to the three, or are they continuously looped into the frame? Does that make sense?
I mean, the third one will tie in directly to the other two films.
Okay.
Right.
But it's going to be done in such a way to where you could still have watched the third one without ever having seen the second or the first one. And because as small as it might be, the first two films do have a fan base, and we want to play into that with the third one, but
Sure.
we also have to be smart about it and say that it's not the Evil Dead franchise. It doesn't have like a cult following, so
Right.
so the chances of a more mainstream audience knowing about Volumes of Blood, and even now, like when I talk to some of these other filmmakers and directors and things on their projects that I've come on to, it's like they have just found out about Volumes of Blood and seen it. It's like we got on Blumhouse, and that was one of the biggest doors that opened for us, that really kind of put the Volumes of Blood franchise in the spotlight,
yeah.
and that helped get it some more attention, but still it's not a household name.
Right. And it's on Amazon now too, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
Well, it's a unique situation. When, like I said, I'm always giving him kudos on it, but I mean, it is him, the Volumes of Blood world. I mean, you don't have to see in 1, 2, 3. Like you said, you can watch them individually. But I think what's cool now, and I've heard other people that are fans, that are friends of ours, however, that have now seen 1 and 2, and then they've seen 2, and then they go back and watch 1, and they've caught little things that they did. And I think Kat Michaels was talking about something she'd saw that she didn't realize, and I think that's what's cool about it. So if you do see the third one on its own, I mean, even him and I have seen the first 2 a million times. The ones that have only seen them a couple of times, if you were to go back and watch them 1, 2, 3, you're probably going to catch on to so much other different things.
Yeah.
But with the uniqueness of it, the way he did it, with all the different stories and the different characters, it's making it so, and I don't want to use the word easy, but for it to kind of finalize the Volumes of Blood through the trilogy to spin off, because him and I weren't fighting or bickering or anything, but we were back and forth, what movie are we going to do? And I was pretty adamant wanting to do the third one, because he had these spin-offs. It's like, why go do a spin-off and then come back and finish the third? Let's finish fresh with this, and then you got these new things coming off of this. I thought it might get confusing, but I think what he's done with these other things, I think it's going to be great, because people are going to be familiar with the face. They're already going to know the Harvester, and the storyline that he had written was a story I read when we did the first Volumes of Blood.
Yeah,
I loved his story, love it, and I wanted him to do it, and he.
That was the beer talking.
Yeah. Is there a dinosaur in the room?
All I can say is that after this episode, I am definitely WD-40ing up every little piece of
well,
metal
my chair, I can't sit still in my chair.
You're doing just fine. Don't worry about it. It's all good.
I mean, his movie, the way I think he is going to incorporate the Harvester, it's going to be a great flick.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking forward to Volumes of 3, but I'm looking forward to these spin-offs.
Now, the actor that played the Harvester, are you going to be able to get him for...
Oh, yeah. It's sure. Chad Ray. Yeah, he's a pushover.
Are you sure? Now you'd be like, he needs me now.
He's pretty busy. That would be the only thing is time.
Yeah, but his busy is like working out, so he can put.
He'd be up for
instead of going to Planet Fitness 8 days out of the week, he can go 5 days out of the week.
There you go. Those weekends are for you to the film, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
So he's a big puppy dog, even though he looks scary.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy too. Actually, that's the talk. He has some interesting shirts that he wears,
and he buys them all from Baby Gap.
Wow, not the one I saw that he wore on set. That was not purchased.
He's talking about.
You're thinking of Eric Stanish.
Oh,
he's the one. Yeah, and he played
at Henry's Plumbing building.
Right. Yeah.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah, he was Atticus Crow. Chad Ray, which they're both muscular guys.
Yes.
Chad. Not that Eric doesn't have any class, but Chad wears classier shirts.
I should say
Eric.
That's funny. Okay. Well, sorry for the confusion. That was my fault.
Oh, that's okay.
But because I was like, going, really?
Were you there the second day?
The second day for which second day? It was a lot of second days.
Were you there the second day of shooting when Eric Stanish was there? What he wore the second day?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember.
I don't remember. This graphic, but when I figured it out, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Probably.
We'll talk about it after.
We'll talk about it after. All right, excellent. Well, hey, guys, anything else you guys want to cover today?
No, I can't think of anything.
Think we're caught up for now?
I'd say so.
Can you explain to me what confufe is?
Something that's getting way overused on Facebook and social media. That's what it is. I mean,
anyway,
basically, we're just excited. August 1st is right around the corner, and I think pre-sales are supposed to be happening pretty soon.
That'll be fantastic.
And looking forward to getting with those guys and getting that out there. And that's about it right now.
And when you guys get ready to do the part about having cast come in and audition and things like that, we'd love to have you back to talk about that and to let everybody know exactly when and where, even if it's just a small little segment on another podcast, just so we can get it out there, let people know that you guys are going to have it, because that way you have the more pull you have of people to choose from, I think the better you're going to be able to narrow it down to what you really need. So.
Absolutely. And you have my permission to put his name first when that comes around.
Oh, okay, cool.
Or not.
Fantastic.
August is just going to be a big month for us, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and it is spelled correctly.
Yes, it is.
And you guys need to
because I cut and pasted it from your Facebook page.
Yeah.
Release some shirts. Because the last time I saw you, I had to just stare at your shirt, wishing that I could have one.
Well, we did. We did do a first run batch. We've done a second run batch of shirts, and now we'll probably end up doing a third batch as well. But I don't know if we're probably going to go about it a little differently.
Yeah.
But yeah, we put it out there just to see what kind of response we would get if we had, because we did have some Volumes of Blood horror stories shirts made.
Cool.
And
it's always something you could throw in a pre-order package. Shirt and a movie.
That's true.
I think we got an order for about 50 of them, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, guys, thank you so much for being on our podcast today.
Thanks for having us.
We always enjoy having you. And thank you for kind of putting up with our working out the kinks in the new studio.
No problem. Sorry, Eric broke your table.
I think I might have hit the leg, and
it's no big deal. It's all good. It's all good. And we'll get that worked out. Oh my goodness! I also want to thank the Malco, the duct tape. I also want to thank Malco Theaters
for hooking us up with awesome posters.
Awesome posters all the way around.
Oh, cool!
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, that was really nice. Camilla was really nice. That's Malco.com if you want to check out movies in your area, because these guys are all about making
Turn
movies
your head,
too.
you might lose that Alien poster.
Yeah, no, it's pretty badass. Isn't it?
Yeah.
That is a pretty awesome poster.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And then Pirates one, not too shabby.
Yeah.
Not too shabby at all. All right, Tony.
Yep.
We're out of here, buddy.
Okay. I don't care.
Mr. Enthusiasm.
He is very excited. I think he's ready to get back to his sheep.
Yeah,
I think so. Feeling kind of lonely, aren't you, Tony?
I'm over it.
All right.
After you make him go to sleep right in the middle of the podcast, he's pretty much done.
Tony, drink your beer and go to sleep.
Poppies.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Escape Pod.
Thanks, guys.
Adios.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Escape Pod. If you enjoyed it, please like the episode and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you would like to be a part of future podcasts, then email us at outbreakpodcast@gmail.com. And be sure to visit our website, outbreakpodcast.com, for more episodes, show notes, photos, and other podcasts on the Outbreak Podcasting Network. That's outbreakpodcast.com.